Hey guys! So we're going to be making 4 little decorations today. We're going to be making this monster. We will be making this pumpkin, which you can actually turn into a jack-o'-lantern, and I kind of like it better with the face, but you can do it without the face if you just like the pumpkin. The third one we're going to be making is this creepy spider. Isn't he so cute? Oh, spooky. I mean spooky. And the last thing that we'll be doing is the ghost. Whoa. The things that you will need are going to be scrap yarn. You don't need much. So I've got orange for my pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns, white for my ghost, black for my spiders, and I chose purple for my monster, but that's your choice. You can use whatever color yarn you want for your monster. We'll need green pipe cleaner, and you really don't need this many. I've made 2 of the jack-o'-lanterns and haven't even used a full pipe cleaner yet. Some scrap felt, hole punch, wiggly eyes, really big wiggly eyes googly eyes for the monsters, scissors. For the spider you will need black pipe cleaners, and for each spider you need 2 of these. You also need fishing line. You'll need a yarn needle and a piece of scrap cardboard. You want it to be twice as long as your ghost and as wide as your pumpkin. So we're going to use the same piece of cardboard to make both the ghosts and the pumpkin. The last thing that you'll need is your glue gun, and this is a low temp glue gun. So be careful because we are using both scissors and glue gun. Don't burn yourself, don't cut yourself. If you're younger, make sure you get someone to help with these things, an adult, a parent. I'm gonna start out by making the ghost. So for that, I'm gonna need my white yarn, a piece of scrap cardboard, googly eyes, the little ones, and the felt. And I'm using black felt. And your hole punch. Now I've already gone ahead and cut out the mouth. So that's what the hole punch is for. You want to use the hole punch in your felt just to cut out a small circle. And this is going to become our mouth for our ghost. So what you want to do is you want to take your white yarn and you're going to wrap it around your piece of cardboard, and there's no real number to this. You just want to wrap as many times as you feel that you want your ghost to be that size. Like, don't wrap it too tightly because you want to be able to scoot it off the cardboard when you're done wrapping. So I'm just wrapping. Oh. And well, my white yarn has been cut there, so we can go ahead and just use this. Now remember, this is going to be doubled, so I'm going to take another small piece of white yarn and I'm going to cut that. I'm going to put that to the side for just a second, and then I'm going to take and slide the wrapped yarn off of my piece of cardboard and keep it held together. So I want, there's still loops at the bottom and loops at the top. I'm going to take the white piece of yarn that I just cut and wrap it in the middle, and I'm going to fold the loops towards each other. Make sure it's kind of even, and then I'm going to tie a knot. And you want to tie this pretty tight. so that none of your yarn pulls out. Now I have something that kind of looks like a bow tie. Then I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm just gonna cut these loops. Then I want to make sure I find where my knot is, and mine is right there. I don't know if you can see it. And I'm gonna put that side down. And I'm gonna kind of just pull all of this down a little. Then I'm going to take my fishing line and I'm going to cut the length of that. How long you want this to hang down is how long you're going to cut it. So it's up to you, it's your decision. And I'm going to take my yarn needle and just thread it through. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it under the loop of yarn that is holding everything together. So the one that you tied around. Once you get it through, you're just going to put a knot in the top of that. So I'm going to kind of smooth down and hold in place at the bottom the yarn. And I'm going to decide where to put my eyes. And I'm just going to put a tiny drop of glue. Keep in mind, this is going to glue some of your yarn together as well, so you don't want a huge amount of glue. There's our little ghosty. Woo! Next, we will do our pumpkin or jack-o'-lantern. And like I said, you don't need much yarn for this, just scrap yarn would work. So I'm going to take and I'm going to wrap it around this way. And again, don't wrap it too tight because you're going to have to take it off one side. But you decide how big you want your pumpkin to be by choosing how many times to wrap. Come to the end of my yarn, and I'm going to use that little piece that I had tied with together to tie it again. So we're going to slide it off the end. There we go. And so this time again I want to kind of find the center, and I'm going to wrap that extra piece of yarn around the center and tie it. Now I like to tie it on one side, and the tighter you pull this, you can see the sides start to come together. And then I like to flip it over and then tie a knot on the other side. To me, somehow this feels extra secure. See, so we've got our basic pumpkin shape here. Then we're gonna take a little bit of our pipe cleaner. We don't need much. It depends on how big you want your stem as to how big you cut it. And then we're gonna slide it under that piece of yarn that we just tied. And this can be a little bit difficult to get it under. Now you don't want to do it about halfway. You want to take just a little bit through, and then you're going to twist that little bit with the bigger piece to secure it. So now it looks like this. And then I'm just going to make kind of a curly Q, bend it into a curly Q. And I kind of like this look because it reminds me of it being on the vine. So if you want just a pumpkin, you can stop here. If you want a jack-o'-lantern, take that felt, that piece of black felt, and you're going to cut out 2 triangles, or whatever kind of eyes you like, and a mouth shape. So I'm going to pick my spot. And I think right here looks pretty good. I'm going to put a little dab of glue. Our jack-o'-lantern, so no no evil spooky spirits will come visit us. We'll hang him on our Halloween tree, or we'll hang him on our garland in the window, and he'll scare all the spooks away. Now I'm going to kind of trim up a little bit, or you can glue into place where these little ends here. That one's a little bit long, so let's trim that one. That one's a little frayed, so we'll trim that one too. So there we go. Again, you want to cut a length of your fishing line, however long you want him to hang down. Thread it on your needle, and you're going to take it through the same thread where you put on his vine and tie a knot in the top. So boom, 2 out of 4 done. Let's do our creepy spider. We need our black yarn. We need 2 black pipe cleaners. We need 2 googly eyes. And we need our scissors and hot glue gun. First, want to take our black pipe cleaners and we're going to cut those in half. You want to take and kind of find the middle of the pipe cleaners, and you're going to take your black yarn and you're just going to start wrapping. And again, there's no real amount or time. It depends on how big you want your spiders. We're making a smaller spider, so we are going to just make kind of a small ball in the middle. So we're gonna wrap until we have about that shape. No, it's not gonna, it's gonna look more like a football. It's not gonna look like an actual ball to begin with. After you finish wrapping, you have something that looks kind of like this. And we're gonna take 2 of the legs on one side and flip them up, and then flip the other 2 down. Then we're gonna do the same on the other side, flip 2 up, flip 2 down. So it kind of looks like an H, capital H. So the 4 legs that are flipped up towards each other, we're gonna take and wrap them 1 or 2 times at the base tightly, and then repeat on the other side. Creepy spider has some creepy legs. Glue on his eyeballs. There's our little creepy spider. Now this guy, because he's made from pipe cleaners, will stick to things. So if you want to just have a spider and not hang him on anything, you can. Just be cautious, because like I said, these are wires. I wouldn't recommend putting him on something scratchable, so like a computer screen or something like that. I would not put him on there. Use your own good judgment. But if you want to put him on your garland or hang him on your tree, again, just like the other 2, we're gonna cut a piece of fishing line, and we're gonna take our needle and we're just gonna stick it under one of the pieces of yarn that are wrapped to make his body, and then tie a knot. Next we're gonna do our monster, and like I said, I have scrap purple yarn, but you can do any color of yarn that you want for your monster. You can do multicolors. For this one, you need your scrap yarn of your color, and you need your googly eyes, and you need your glue gun. So with this, I'm gonna use my fingers, and I'm gonna wrap around my 4 fingers. And again, this doesn't have to be a specific amount. The more you wrap, the more fuzzy your monster will be, the bigger your monster will be. Just snip the yarn. My yarn keeps rolling away. Then I'm going to cut a smaller piece to tie in the middle. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to slide it between my first and last two fingers. You can't even see my pinky right now. And then I'm going to go ahead and slide off the rest of the yarn. And I'm going to tie a knot. We have tied a knot here in the center. And then before we go on, I want to go ahead and put on our fishing line just because it's easier for this one to do it at this stage. I've already got my fishing line cut and I'm threading my needle. And the point where we tie the knot is going to be the front. So I'm just going to put it through here on the top. If you find that you're having difficulty with your knots and they're not staying tied, put a little dab of glue on the knot and it should help to hold it. I'm gonna hold that fishing line to the side and I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm gonna start cutting through all of these loops. And these are not going to be the same length. That's okay, it's a monster. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now where I want to keep flat the part where we have our knot, and I'm going to put some glue on the back of my big googly eye. Be careful not to melt these with your glue gun. These are plastic. And then I'm just going to stick it to that flat spot, kind of squish it down a little bit so it'll stay in place. It'll glue itself to several strands, but not all. And then I'm going to fluff up the back. And then you can see, like, I have one really long strand down here. You can choose to trim that or not. This is your monster. I think I'm gonna trim just that one. I don't know why that one's so long. But like I said, this is your monster. Make him your own. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed making jack-o'-lanterns and ghosts, spiders and pumpkins and monsters with me today. And remember, if you don't want to just hang these on your Halloween tree, you can attach them to some more yarn or a ribbon and you can hang them up as Halloween garland. If you make one of these, please leave me a message or a picture. You can message me on my Facebook page. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm Shivering Shimmy on both of those as well. So happy crafting! See you guys later. Bye.